Hey everyone, this is Corey with Stafford CDC, and today we're taking a look at the Bestechman Mini Dundee. So Bestechman, from what my understanding is it's made by Bestech. Who would have guessed it? But is kind of a gentleman's selection of knives coming from Bestech. That's, I think, the idea behind it. So you have a very slim, minimal styled knife here. This one, as you may have seen, is an Ostapel design. So well-known designer. You have D2 on the blade, and you have a bearing action on this guy. Flipper, and there is a little bit of a groove there on the blade. If you wanted to pinch it open, you could, I guess. It does not really work well for flicking. If you're left-handed, you can get in there and you can make it work. Righties, good luck. You're really not going to be able to get in there on this. I tried. I spent a lot of time trying, but the flipper tab works really well on this. And the action is really good as well. The one thing that I don't like about this knife that I'm going to get into right away is this pivot. It reminds me of, like, I think it's the Rebel logo from Star Wars, kind of, is the vibes I'm getting from this, like the flame logo, I think is kind of what it looks like. You know, people who are Star Wars nerds, not that I'm calling you nerds, but who know more about it will know what I'm talking about. And I could be completely wrong about it being the Rebel logo, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. And I don't love that. If you're going to do like a gentleman's style knife, make it plain, just like this side. Totally plain, black. They have uncoated versions as well with satin blades and liners and whatnot. So, and there's several G10 options, including a Tiffany blue, which I didn't know existed, and I kind of like it. I don't love this knife enough to buy one myself, but these are pretty cheap at $42.90 on Blade HQ. So $43. You're getting your D2 flipper here, made by Bestech, so you know the quality is there. Yeah, pretty good deal all in all. Those Tiffany blue one is calling my name, though I know I don't need it, so I need to resist spending $42 for no reason. Like I said, the flipper action is good. The detent might be a touch soft on this, but that's like really pushing it. It'll deploy basically every time, unless you get your fat finger in the way like I just did. Yeah, it's pretty reliable. It doesn't feel like it's firing out like crazy hard or anything like that, but you don't really need a lot of effort to break that detent, but it's going on its own. And as you can see, that action is just unreal for such a cheap knife. That's fantastic. And you know, this wasn't a thing years ago. Now Saviti is killing it, and Bestech's doing a great job. Petrified Fish, you know, you name the budget brand, everyone's got good action now. But this was impossible to find under like $100 a few years ago. So consider, you guys who like these budget knives so much, consider yourselves really lucky, because you don't know what it was like a few years ago. It was rough trying to find stuff like this. Yeah, that action was unheard of on something under $100 for sure. Overall, it's kind of a small knife to talk about the size. The overall length, 7 inches. The blade is under 3 at 2.92. So you have, you know, it makes it sound like there's a 5-inch handle, but it's about a 4-inch handle. The blade stock thickness is, I don't think that's right. This Blade HQ's website says 0.126. I'd be really shocked if this was over 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just gonna check it. 0.12, I guess it is. I'll switch it to millimeters, might be able to get a better measurement here. 3 millimeters roughly. Yeah, 3 mils. So I guess that is correct. It just doesn't seem that thick. You know, compared to something like this sheepdog, it doesn't look any thicker, but the sheepdog's 0.11. So maybe there's some nice, some clever, yeah, I guess there's like a swedge that goes down this whole thing, which makes it maybe look a little thinner. This swedge continues all the way to the back, which I guess is what's tripping me up. But yeah, so I didn't realize the blade was that thick, though it does get pretty thin. It's a flat grind. It's a short flat grind, because the blade's not very tall at all. But it's already thin enough, and with this big swedge on the back and this fuller in there, it eats through material pretty nicely. This had no issue going through cardboard, and really was not a problem whatsoever to cut with this, despite being a shorter flat grind. One thing I don't like about this, it's my pet peeve with a lot of knives too, is something I didn't notice till right now. You can see the bearing hole, or not the bearing, the detent hole get exposed a few times along this path. They could have just made the bolster area a little larger and it would have completely covered that, but it is what it is. Just be aware of that. If you're somewhere sandy or something with a lot of particulate, dirt, whatever, it might get in there, and it might get into the bearings as well. And this is D2, so just think about where you're going to be carrying this. And the last thing I will talk about is this clip. It's nice and minimal. It's deep carry and recessed, but it still has knife sticking out of the pocket. It could have just mounted it further down, and I think it would have been just fine. I have not been in this kind of odd spot, making for a little bit of an ugly little patch on this guy. But nevertheless, this guy is a nice little neat folder. It's got great action on it, which is just unreal for the price of $43. And there's some cool options as well. Since I'm not going to buy a Tiffany G10 one, I hope someone else does. Love that color. Yeah, it's a good knife, and I can't say enough good things about great budget knives, and this is going to be one of those. This is one that somebody who I might have sent towards like a Civivi Elementum before, this might be the direction I send them instead. If you just want to get them introduced to knives with a flipper, this might be the way to go. So think about the Bestechman Mini Dundee the next time you're thinking about somebody's first knife, and let me know your thoughts about this guy down below. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and with that, take care and enjoy your day.